being on Cloud Interrupted here today, and we're going to talk about Azure Single Sign-On. And this is a really interesting and exciting subject, but I think it's more of a problem than most people realize, right, Chris?
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, with as many apps as they're out there, they all have their own unique logins, and you almost need your own personal, LastPass or Key Vault just to keep up with your own logins for everything you have to do throughout the day.
Yeah, so for an organization, it even becomes an amplified or magnified problem because now you have credentials everywhere, and trying
Yeah,
to manage that can get kind of hard, difficult.
yeah, it's exactly what I was going to say. Credentials everywhere, and then you have to have almost an admin in every system just to keep up with, oh, Sally needs this password reset, or Jack needs this password reset, and oh, well, Joe only can do this one, or Sally can only do that one. So yeah, I mean, it's almost like a password overload, right?
Yeah. So, that's a great place to start. I mean, how does like a company of our size or any size manage and maintain that level of passwords? I mean, I'm sure you almost need a IT person on standby just to resetting passwords and maintaining that.
Yeah, most places do have that, that the password kind of resetter that sits on their tier one or on their help desk. That's all they're doing all day long. But because of some of the newer things that's coming out, like you were talking about with the SSO, there was programs like Okta before that you always had to pay to use, but now inside Azure you can link it all with your Active Directory login. So with all the stuff that Azure has, I think there's like over 280,000 ones that are already programmed in that they already have kind of pre-integrated, right? So once you start working on all your SSOs or your single sign-ons, you can basically log into the Azure portal, comes up with all the little tiles, and you can say, oh, I want to log into this application. You just click on it instead of remembering that username and password for that one, because sometimes it's your email, sometimes it's your first initial last name, right? It's like not even the logins are
Hmm.
the same. It's
Right.
so just remembering the one on how you get into your email that you use every day makes it a little bit easier.
So, so what's the preferred practice there then? Like what's our experience, at least internally, what have we been using and incorporating to make this life a little easier?
Yeah, so what we've done internally, what we've helped some clients with already with is we tie it with their Azure AD, because that's what they have to log into with the computer or their email anyways. So, they know their email address. It's, whatever your organization's already set up, you give it out, you use it every day. So you know your email address, there's the username. And then if you can start tying in all the single sign-ons that are already integrated with Azure AD, and then you can just log into your portal and you have your own personal dashboard for logging into the applications. And going back to what we were talking about a minute ago, right now all you need is one person to manage your Azure AD. So if somebody does forget their password because they went on vacation versus, oh crap, I haven't logged into this in a week, right? So,
Hmm.
it lightens the burden on just your own internal IT, because you're not staffing people just to reset passwords.
Right. So the end user could essentially, in many cases, reset their own password.
They could, yeah. I mean, you were talking about preferred practices, right? So you always hear about MFA or two-factor authentication. That's almost the standard with Azure AD now. So if that's more and more how, all these compliances and audits are saying, oh, you need MFA, you need MFA. It's already built in with Azure Active Directory. So if you're already too auth in and you go to a dashboard, you're while you're further simplifying, you're also further securing.
Right. So, the whole concept of this, though, you're talking about essentially extending your Active Directory in the cloud. It sounds like it could possibly be a complicated deployment. Is that the case, or is it fairly straightforward?
So there's two things to consider there. There's one where you have to extend your AD to the cloud. So you have to be in the Azure AD world or in the Office 365 world. So you have to have the portal access. But depending on how your organization is, if you're not 100% cloud focused and you're in this hybrid environment, most likely you're using Office 365. So you can still take advantage of all this stuff, whether it ties back into your Active Directory on-prem or your Active Directory that you have in the cloud. I mean, that's just another step further that you can go for ease of use as far as your administrators. but using Office 365, I don't want to say is the norm, but it's pretty close to the norm.
Sure. So, a lot of the companies that we've been working with too, it makes a lot of sense. A lot of the Microsoft solutions, of course, are going to kind of have some of this a bit easier deployment. I understand that there is a marketplace to help with some of the single sign-on experience. But what if we've run into quite a few companies that have built something internally. Is there a way to do some sort of customized single sign-in for those applications?
Yeah, as long as the application that their own developers have, like some of the organizations, they have their own homegrown app that they've written because that's what they sell, right? And so we
Mm-hmm.
support them to support their infrastructure. So they already have application developers on staff. And most likely the norm that people are doing nowadays is that SAML 2.0 type login. So if you can either take advantage of some of the APIs that are out there, or you can just take advantage of that technology, as long as you have SAML 2.0, you can incorporate it into the Azure portal, which is the Office 365 type login tile window.
Sure. So if we were talking to somebody brand new who's looking to incorporate this type of thing, where do you think they should start?
I would probably start on the Azure portal just to see if some of the apps that they're using are already pre-baked, right? Because as more and more of these applications come out and this becomes more almost the norm, right? They're pre-baking them a lot inside the portal. So all you would need to do is go to the portal, follow their quick links on, just grab this login from here on this application or this one over here. But if it's not there, the docs that are out there right now on how to incorporate the login, I mean, we have some of our junior devs on our staff right now that are able to accomplish this.
So. No, it's been a lot of great information. And was there anything that you can think of that we probably should bring up yet here at the end of our chat?
No, I want to emphasize that if you do struggle with that, the password reset kind of cycle that happens because you have to log into so many applications, I really encourage you to look into this. If you can't just figure it out, give us a shout. We'll definitely help you with it.
Yeah, and reach out to us through our website or even I think many of us are on LinkedIn. We'd happy to answer some questions.
That's right.
So, well, thanks, Chris. That was great chatting with you today, and thanks for the clarification around single sign-on.
No problem. I appreciate it.
Thank you for watching Stratum's Cloud Interrupted. If you like what you see, please subscribe, like, and share this video.